the World Healing Tour movement with your host, Noah Crane. Heal yourself, heal the world.
Hey everybody, my name is Lisa Ray. I'm a literary agent and I'm working with the media team here at The Grass Grows where I am, and we are so excited to bring you a co-author experience where you will grow your brand and your visibility. Click the link below and apply now for free, and we will see you inside the pages of The Grass Grows where I am.
Hello, and welcome to the World Healing Tour podcast, where our mission is to help you heal yourself so you can heal the world. Hi, my name is Noah Crane. Each week, we will bring you tips and tools and inspire you to live your most empowered and joyful life. I'm also the author of the book, The Grass is Greenest Where I Am, because the grass is greenest where you are when you say so. When you learn to live in a place of no comparison, no competition, and no scarcity. When you learn to live in your own love and light and share your unique gifts with the world, because we're all unique. That's why it's called World Healing Tour, because when you heal yourself, you truly open that space for others to heal as well. It's that ripple effect that we get to create together in the world. Each week, I bring incredible guests into studio to pour into you and to help you elevate your own life. My guest today is Gabriel Cousens. He's a homeopathic doctor, orthomolecular psychiatrist, doctor of divinity, and a diplomat of holistic medicine, recognized by the New York Times as the fasting guru, author of 13 books, and the creator of a fasting retreat since 1988. Incredible. So I know that Gabriel wants to start our podcast with a prayer. So welcome, Gabriel, to the World Healing Tour podcast, and we're going to get started with your beautiful prayer.
Thank you so much. Now, the prayer is about merging the heart and the mind and the earth and the heavens. So as I'm doing this, kind of make those connections for yourself. And here we go. L'shem yikud kudasha brihu ushinate bi'ilu imu uliu biyaktat bishem kozrel kolam. Amen.
Amen. That's beautiful. So what does that, can you explain it a little deeper, the prayer to people?
Well,
because I know it's in Hebrew.
It's really designed for us to wake up and see our unity with all of creation. Now, if we take it from the way we're talking, which is heal yourself, heal the planet, it's like when you connect to the truth of who you are, that endless, I'm going to say, spiritual dance, spiritual sound, light and joy and love within yourself, you begin to see it in the outer world. And then you join, in a sense, the dance of divine in all creation. So that prayer is about invoking that energy.
That's beautiful.
And it's actually a prayer we say every day in my tradition.
So do you have the prayer also somewhere where people can read it and connect it even more?
Well, I mean, I don't have it, I don't have a page of it because I kind of have it memorized, right?
Right, yeah, because I love it. Maybe you should put it on your website or something. It's really cool.
Okay.
Yeah, great energy.
I
I feel it.
Okay, good.
Very cool. Well, I'm so excited to have you here. I mean, I went through everything of who you are and what you do, and it's so inspiring to me because I'm all about healing mind, body, spirit, and I know you talk a lot about that. I wanted to start by asking you, where did this healing modalities or your work started? Like, where did it come from?
Indirectly, but directly, when I was 4 years old, I knew I wanted to be a doctor. Now, no one in my family had ever been anything in the medical world. So it seemed like a little weird. What are you doing, wanting to be a doctor? No, what? You don't even know what that was. But I knew I wanted to be a healer. At the age of 4, and at the age of 8, I began seeing some calm spirit beings and helping with the healing. So I was like the local grammar school healer and high school healer. And even I went to a place called Amherst College, and I was a captain of the undefeated football team and in the National Football Hall of Fame. But everybody gets injured. That's just the way it is, okay? And I would do a lot of healing with the people there. Then I went to Columbia Medical School, and I saw the healing was on a more social basis as well. I lived in Central Harlem. We had some school health programs. We were in half the schools in Central Harlem, training local mothers to be helping people get to health care. So that was beginning to happen. And then after medical school, where I saw that it wasn't quite the right understanding, I was trained in biochemistry. I published papers in biochemistry when I was in college. That's what I thought I was going to do, just be a medical researcher. But it really didn't work for me in a kind of soul level. So during the summers, I grew up in Chicago. I was working with black gangs in the south side of Chicago, and I was also working in a biochemistry laboratory, this is summer. And it was like, wow, what's really good is to be working with people and elevating their consciousness. So that's how I began to get into that. And then the same thing began to happen with in the medical world. I began to see, wait, there's just way more to this than some kind of hypoglycemia or diabetes. There is a whole psychophysiological implant. So I began to do work in that way, and I began to go into holistic medicine. Now, this is in the 60s. So in the 60s, you didn't really have the word holistic medicine. Okay. It was like way before that. So it was just, I kind of stumbled my way into that. I think that would be the best way. And then I realized, well, you have a more holistic approach. Didn't have that word. And I decided to go into psychiatry and family therapy because I saw everything as a network. And as you talk about, it isn't just a network, it's like the whole world. Healing yourself, you're healing the world. We're a resonant dynamic. So I kind of began to move into teaching meditation, started in 1973. I spent 7 years on and off in India, where I got obviously deeper in meditation, was given the power to kind of awaken people's energy. They use the word Kundalini and Shaktipat, but in a biblical tradition, it's called Haniha, the sharing of energy that helps awaken people's spiritual energy. I don't want to get too many technical terms in there, but it's the same. It turns out to be the same in all the different traditions. So I got into family therapy and couples, but also individual therapy. I worked with a lot of people who, in the 60s, there was, I was living near Haight-Ashbury and taking an internship at Mount Zion Hospital. A lot of people getting really out of balance with drugs. So I began exploring, how do I help people here? And so I began to understand the term you used was orthomolecular psychiatry. Vitamins and minerals could be part of helping rebalance the brain and the body, because these people who done a lot of drugs, really their neurotransmitters were very out of balance. So I began having some really, really good successes taking this whole approach, and come to San Francisco, wear a flower in your hair, right? It's like, that was a world that I was living in. I didn't really do drugs. I saw that there's really a problem with them because I was helping repair people's brains. on a regular basis because of what was going on.
Yeah, it's amazing that you were able to notice that the awareness level that you had, that people needed support in other areas, and you were able to see a need and a pain point to help them solve that pain.
Exactly. You know, it's more of a balance. Like you're doing psychedelics, you really do cause an imbalance in your brain biochemistry. Takes about a year or two to really bring it back into balance. Because the people who come to me, they have been doing this for more than a few years, and they were, more seriously out of balance.
So you
If
don't
that makes sense.
recommend psychedelics.
What?
So I said you don't recommend people to do psychedelics.
No, I don't. I repair it.
Wow,
It's a
that's
little bit
amazing.
more.
I never heard that before, but I think that's really cool that you saw a need for that to repair that.
Yeah, it's a little bit more than that, and I'll go one step further to see. But as most, as many ayahuasca kind of teachers in South America know, different entities come in also, and they're aware of it. But it was blatantly aware to me, and I began doing entity removal. So demonic removal. That's a whole other level, but that's that's what I was seeing. So I had to learn how to deal with that.
Yeah, that's incredible. I love that so much that you are helping people heal and heal in the most incredible way because I love it's juice fasting that you do, right?
Yeah, and we are doing a juice fast in the Dominican Republic. Now,
I
with the
know.
COVID, we didn't do it in person. We had to stop. I've been doing leading juice fasts since 1988, and so it's been a while. But with COVID, it was like we can't really bring people together. There's too much anxiety about that. So we are starting our first in-person juice fast. I've been doing it over the internet actually, in the Dominican Republic starting in June 1st of this year. It's a 7-day fast. It takes about 7 days to detox and rebuild and kind of go into a more optimal state.
I love that so much because I've juice fasted before. I've done up to 14 days. And I'm also vegan. So I take really good care of myself and really
Excellent.
conscious about mind, body, soul, and connection and energy and all that. That's why I was like so excited because like I'm like, I want to go. I'm like, this juice fast sounds amazing. So let's talk about why juicing. I saw that you said it's important to juice twice a year. The benefits
Yeah,
of juicing, why people should juice, why is it important to have somebody take you through the juicing, what else you offer with the juicing. Let's talk more about this whole juicing thing and how it benefits people's life.
they're great questions. So I I always start with myself first. Okay, so in 1975 in India, I had a meditation experience with the Kundalini awakening, and a little voice rang out and said, "You should learn to eat and live in a way that supports the Kundalini." So we're starting with a very interesting thing because we haven't gotten the juice fasting yet. Okay, and what I discovered in my time there is it takes about 7 days to clear the system. Now, there are, in the yogic system, we talk about chakras, okay, and nadis. See the channels. There's 72,000 nadis. So here's the point. This is why being a vegan is good, because these nadis get clogged up with the pain, fear, and misery in the animals. So it blocks the flow of the energy. It's very concrete when you get it that way. So as I began to explore it, I saw that was a really big part of the story. We got to clear the nadis. How do you do that? Well, fasting is a very, very powerful way of clearing the nadis. And I'll just say one or two more things because I think my wonderful half side, that's a Native American term, Shanti, is here. So fasting does really clear the nadis and it accelerates the flow of that. Now, a general diet, like you're talking about, a vegan diet, and I do more, at least 80% live food, well, for me, it's maybe 95% live food. It opens the channels so there's a very much more intensified flow of the Kundalini, the spiritual energy. There's the mundane Kundalini, which is what we have running our body, and there's the cosmic Kundalini. It's coming through that central channel.
Can you really quickly, I don't mean to interrupt you, but can you explain to people that might not know what the chakras are, what Kundalini is? Can you explain to them a little bit so they really see the benefits of what this does for them?
Okay, I'll do that, and then I'll introduce Shanti. So, if you see, I don't know if you can see that very faint yellow line there. We call that the Sushumna. So these are subtle body channels, okay, through which the energy flows. It's like when people do acupuncture, they're working with meridians. These are kind of connected to that. But the nadis are actually one step higher in terms of the energetic flow. And they organize the more subtle body spiritual unfoldment. Now, when the nadis cross, you see where they cross here, we have chakras. And each chakra has different petals. And that is where a certain thought forms are. So here's a picture of the petals of the chakras. There's 4 petals at the base and then 6. I just want to get the idea because I could spend a lot of time talking about that.
Yeah, we can talk about that the whole podcast, just the chakras and balancing the chakras, because so many of us are so out of balance with that. And including myself, when I was able to balance my chakras, I was able to start creating and stepping into the woman I'm meant to be. So that's a huge important thing.
Because it creates a full balancing of your system, because your spiritual energies are centered in the different chakras, and they need to come in balance for the full flow of energy, which is exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, so one more thing. Can you talk about the basic chakras, like the first chakra, the second chakra, and why those things can block you from becoming the person you are? I know it's a little basic, but like...
Well, no, it's not so basic the way I do things. So what we see is the base chakra is what I'm going to call life force. Okay? And if that isn't working right, your whole life force is seriously limited. And these are people who come in and they're just, in the Chinese medicine, we call it Jing, your deep life force is damaged. So you've got to build the base chakra. Okay. The second chakra is the sexual energy chakra. You see the 6, and that has to do with, in essence, the proper balance of sexual energy. If you got too much sexual energy, people end up wasting it and getting promiscuous and so forth. If there's hardly any, then it's hard to have a sexual interaction. So that, it's governing that level. The third is what I would call the Jing point, and it has to do with the balancing of emotions and thoughts and digestion in the gut and so forth. And a lot of what happens in the third chakra also makes neurotransmitters for your brain. Now you go above the diaphragm and you have a heart chakra. And that's got 16 petals. And it has issues like love and connectivity, your ability to be intimate, and your ability to pull the higher forces down into your beingness. So that's the heart chakra. And then the throat chakra is your ability to communicate. And the more that's open up, the higher, more refined your ability to communicate. And then we have the bindi, which is the sixth chakra, and that has to do with your psychic insight and parts of spiritual development. Now, there's another chakra, there's more than a few here, between this and the crown chakra. Okay, that's the Akata triangle, where all the chakras are being mediated and kind of higher consciousness coming in a different way. And then above that is the crown, what we call the 1,000-petal lotus, if people can see it. And there's 1,000 points to that. And when that's flowing, then you'll be able to draw down the cosmic energy without an interruption, without blockage. When we're eating meat, fish, chicken, and dairy, these chakras are disrupted as well as the nadis, the 72,000 nadis. So part of what we do, why fasting is so important, is it actually clears and rebalances the nadis, the 72,000 nadis, with three main ones. These are the three main ones, the Ida Pingala and the center one called the Sushumna. Okay, and then you have the right and left side of the brain, and then you have the Akatai triangle, where it kind of is very mystical, but it has to do with your male-female balance and your overall brain function, and then you have the crown chakra. So all that work together, we have to clear all of them. Now, when you eat animal products, what's happening is you're bringing in the animal ego, which brings you to a lower chakra function as well. So that's why you see most spiritual traditions are at least vegan for that reason.
And how does it, when you're in a lower place, how does it express itself in your life?
Ask that again.
If you're in a lower, if it's affecting your nadas and your chakras, what would your experience of life be? If you don't fast and clear it up.
It's an excellent question. I understand. I'm going to answer it in a more yogic way. So we have what we call three kind of levels of being. Sattvic, where you're just what I'm talking about. You're focused on the spiritual energies. Your life in attunement, heart chakra is open, and so forth. Okay. Then Rajasic is what warriors do. It's much more aggressive, and that's also meat, fish, chicken, and so forth. That you have aggressive energies, but that's for the warriors. Okay, and then the lowest is Tamasic, where a good word is sloth. Okay, what does that mean? You're doing drugs. You're doing all kinds of things that degrade the human qualities of who you are and those around you. So those are like the three states, the way the yogi's talking about, which I think is a pretty accurate way. So when everything's really attuned, you're more in a sattvic thing. You're able to meditate easily and you flow in a different way. Rajasic is the warrior energies, and Tamasic is the junk food, drug energies.
Yeah, that makes sense. So so the fasting gives us a time during the year, the 2 times a year that we do it, to connect more to our heart chakra and more to the higher level of ourselves and kind of clear up all the nadis.
So exactly, that's the goal. I mean, people say, well, get the physical toxins. That's true. But let me just invite Shanti in for a second.
Sure. We'll take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back from our sponsor.
Hi, I'm Chris Trammell. I'm the marketing director for The Grass Grows Where I Am, and we can't wait to work with you. And if being in this anthology book would make a difference for your brand, your visibility, and your profitability, click the link below and let's get you started. Can't wait to work with you.
The World Healing Tour Movement with your host, Noah Crane. Heal yourself, heal the world. Hi, and we are back with great Gabriel Cousens and his beautiful wife Shanti. Hopefully she's here. Welcome back, Gabriel.
So Shanti and I have been working together on the fasting retreat since 1988. She looks a little younger than you would think.
Hi, Shanti. Nice to meet you.
Hi there, nice to meet you too.
So great to meet you. I love, when I saw, I was looking at your website, I was reading over everything. When I saw you in the picture, I was like, she needs to be on the podcast with him because, you guys are like this power couple. You're doing amazing things to help people heal. And I know that you give him that space and also you contribute to that incredible work. So I just thought people should see both of you because you really get more of the picture of what you guys do together as a couple.
Well, thank you. Thank you for all your good work too.
Yeah,
So
of course.
Shanti-
I love your
Shanti-
accent, by the way. Beautiful accent.
She's
I'm from New Zealand.
she's from New
Oh,
Zealand.
that's awesome.
But Shanti does the yoga, the tree yoga, which is what we call a flowing yoga, if you want to explain that a little bit.
I teach Kali Ray Tree Yoga. It's known for its wave-like movements. It's actually from Kriyavati, which is spontaneous movements that the teacher Kali Ray put herself into these postures. So it's a very alive, flowing posture because it's from a deep inner Kundalini movement. So it's a very powerful method. I teach that. Yeah.
And then in the workshops, we also have check-in sessions and spiritual questions and answers. So Shanti and I bring male-female perspective into some of that as well. So that's going on every day. We have 2 Shaktipat Anya meditations a day. So people are meditating an hour twice a day, but we also then have kind of a post-meditation discussion, if that makes sense. And then we have a general each day a Q&A time for everybody to ask more spiritual questions.
Yeah, I love that. So let's talk about some of the benefits of fasting, like you could work through your self-limited beliefs. I saw some of the things you guys wrote, right? Emotional and mental blocks, right? Some of those benefits that people that come to the retreat will get after fasting for a week.
Yeah, but we offer, it happens naturally because you're getting rid of your mental toxins and your emotional toxins.
Physical.
And as well as physical toxins. It's just that our fast is more focused on the emotional, mental, and spiritual toxins, and not just the physical toxins.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Some of the benefits that people will get from coming to your retreat. Besides the fasting and the clearing of the nadis, what are some of the benefits that would be like, yeah, I need to go to this. This is really important for my life and my well-being?
In terms of teaching the Tree Yoga, I teach that each day. And when you fast, you become a lot more flexible because all the toxins in the joints start to go. And it's really a powerful, it's from, powerful lymphatic, but it can really take you right into that deep meditation state as well because the mind's not so cluttered with thoughts or food. So it really has a benefit, just drinking the juice, doing the program, and of course we'll be in all the nature and sunlight and the beach, so you have all the elements of the nature to support you as well. And we do a whole lot of things, like Gabriel does spiritual rebirth. It's like what you can say about the
So staying on the physical for a second. There's a subgroup that usually come because we actually literally cure diabetes, particularly type 2, even if you're on insulin, because the fasting activates your system, so you start producing more insulin, and your flow is better, and you're not putting in sugar into your system. That's why we use green juices. So I have kind of a group of going along with that to guide people off their insulin and get their blood sugars at least less than 100. So, which means you're non-diabetic. So That is a really important thing. Now, we just talked about the physical part. People become more sensitive to the higher frequencies. And what Shanti was referring to is that we, as I mentioned, people have entities, people have different things going on, and we help them do that. But I also have a technique which is kind of evolved from Jnana Yoga, yoga of the mind. And we help people release negative but also even positive thought forms so they get a quiet mind. So a very important part of the fast is developing a quiet mind.
And that is super important because there's so much noise out there. So I think that's incredible. So you also encourage people not to use their cell phones and stuff during that time?
Yes.
As much as possible.
That's a harder one, but the answer is yes.
So
You know,
they're
it's
drinking
like-
green. Go ahead. They're drinking green juices, though, right? You said is that the only juice they drink is green juices, and how many times a day do they drink the
Or they can
juice?
have lemon juice, you know.
4 times a day, and sometimes in the morning we have grapefruit juice. But we have a full range of the green juices. Some of the big juices are cucumber and celery. But the key is this. First, there's a physical detox the first day or two, and that goes on. Then the emotional release comes day 3 or 4. And since we're trained in that way as a psychiatrist, family therapist, because I like to work with couples, we work with couples as well, fasting together, which I think is really powerful, all the emotional imbalances start to come out in day 3 or 4. Okay, so there's a kind of the way the body releases these things. So we go with the flow of what's really happening for people and make them aware of those things coming up. And then the spiritual psychic development starts to get more activated in day 5, 6, 7. So then we help people work on that level. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's incredible. And I also saw incredible benefits, right? To be able to release emotions and
Yeah,
all that stuff.
and-
Go ahead.
And I'm going to just say one other thing. There's a few things that increase your brain size: meditation, fasting, okay, and exercise.
Literally grows a brain.
Literally grows the brain. I mean, it's not like a myth. 1% per year, you're growing your brain. So if you're fasting twice a year, you're growing your brain. You're also getting toxin out that block your brain growth. So that's a really exciting thing. The mind gets clear, it gets more focused as well. But literally, you're growing your brain, which is very cool. And then your neurotransmitters come into balance more on day 5, 6, and 7. And your hormonal secretions also come into balance.
I love
So
that.
a lot is going on. So
Listen-
we're there for all of that.
And then it's afterwards too, we go over, lifestyle changes, diet changes, just so that, this is like the ground. And then so when you go out into life, you can choose to, really upgrade your life because you've felt like this for the 7 days of cleansing and everything. And it really is easier to reset your life and things you want to change after you've done the fast. It's not just during the fast. There's really great benefits afterwards.
Yeah, what Shanti just brought up is really important. It's called the fast as a starting point, not an ending point. And fasting twice a year in our kind of research, I mean, I've fasted up to 6 times in a year, but what works for people that doesn't, take all their time, and fasting for 1 week twice a year seems to be sufficient to keep this, to minimize the toxins in the system and keep this flow going. And I'm going to say remembrance of the truth, because at the highest level, people begin to remember the truth of who they are. And that's super exciting. You know, I mean, depression goes away, anxiety goes away, but more important, you remember the truth that we really are a divine being connected to all of creation. Now that tends to fade after 3 or 4 months or 6 months. That's why we do 2 fasts a year, to keep reinforcing it. And what I'm sharing is, you know, testimony of thousands of people of how that actually works. It's not just a theory. It's like, okay, this is what we observe. We're going to have 2 fasts a year.
The pull of the world is really strong, so it just brings you back to yourself each time.
Yeah, I love that. And when you guys said it grows the brain, I was like, yes, that's all I have to tell my husband. And he'll be like, yeah, let's go. Because he's always looking to like improve his brain. He's a doctor as well. He's a holistic dentist. But
Okay,
he's
good.
always looking to like expand his brain and all that. So I have to say, honey, we fast for a week, our brain's gonna get bigger. He'll be like, yes, honey, let's go. So I love that. I
It's true
love that
because
benefit.
yeah, and it's really true, okay? That's research unrelated to me, because that's more technical research. And that's really exciting, because your mind does get clearer, your thinking gets clearer overall, okay? Your executive and functions of the mind improve. But not but, yeah, our focus is to activate the spiritual awareness, which is not what's necessarily done in a lot of fasting retreats. So our focus again is awakening the spiritual energy. I've been empowered by my spiritual teacher in 2 traditions, but most the Indian tradition, to awaken what we call the Kundalini. It's called Shaktipat. And after 7 years, I was given the blessing to be able to do that. So we're doing that twice a day. So it's a really important spiritual enhancement that people are getting.
Yeah, and what happens to people when they're more connected to their spirituality? What does that open up for them?
It makes your life full of fun.
That's a great answer.
You really start to have a good time because you're seeing the divine and the dance of the divine in everything. It's like, wow, this is really fun. This is what life is about, because you're having the inner experience of the truth and affects your outer perception of the world.
Yeah,
So
that's a great answer. And everybody wants to have more fun, right? That's, so important. So if we can get out of our own way, right, and be able to be more open, it changes our lives completely, as you say.
yeah, so and it's true. You really do have more fun. Being awake, you have more fun. You feel the energies. We do support relationships. We give a discount actually for couples that are coming. You can tell your husband that too. And
I already saw that on your website.
yeah, and I think it's really important that couples do these things together, so they're growing at the same time.
Couples that fast together last together.
Yeah,
Very
that's
good.
beautiful. We've been married for almost 29 years, so we're definitely. And how does this get you more connected to your soul? Because so many people are disconnected from their own soul. Like, is there a difference that they will feel being more connected to themselves, to their soul? Because I see everything from a soul level.
Good.
Well, that soul point of view is very helpful, because you want to be connected solely on that in the bigger picture. And what happens is, when you get rid of all the noise and your mind gets quiet and all the negative thoughts start to clear, this energy of the soul begins to emerge into your awareness. It happens naturally, is what I'm saying. Shaktipat meditation, or Haniha meditation, which is more of a Torah biblical approach, same thing. More explicitly helps that happen. Okay? But fasting, as it clears the mind and the body, allows that much deeper soul connection. It's a very good question.
Thanks. So let's go through a day. How it's let's give people a feeling of coming to your retreat. I arrive in Dominican Republic, right? How does it go? Just to kind of get an idea of how my day is going to be like, what I'm going to experience.
There's, of course, check-in, and then we have a talk that night. We go over, of course, just the basics. I go over how to use enema, because we'll be doing an enema for 7 days. We go over on what supplements we're going to take that'll help the fasting, or what we're not going to take. And
what are some of the supplements that you do during fasting? Are you allowed to say?
Yeah, well, there's no big mystery. You don't take supplements per se. It's cayenne, it's ginger,
well,
it's lemon, that kind of thing.
Well, yeah, but there's other things too.
Yeah.
Magnesium, liquid magnesium.
Yeah, the magnesium is actually important.
Yeah.
We have a special kind of magnesium called extra magnesium, and most people, 80% of the population, scientifically, are deficient in magnesium. And what we began to notice, wait, people are starting to get cramps, what's going on? So we added that as a general supplement they need to take, because of most 80% are already magnesium deficiency. Now, magnesium is one of the 4 really important supplements for your brain, for neurotransmitters. Okay, so it also works on that level. Okay, so let's go back to the schedule.
Okay, so so really fast. So do we arrive? Is it a Sunday that we arrive on? I don't remember. Is it June 1st? It starts.
Yes, Sunday.
Okay, Sunday, June 1st. Okay, we arrive there. That evening, you have the talk.
We have a talk, and then the next morning you start your enemas, and then I teach Kali Tree Yoga, and it has breathing practices as well each day, and then we usually have a check-in generally, and then we meditate, and usually Gabriel will give a talk, like a talk on whatever is relevant.
Spiritual nutrition, or the nadis, or different things.
And then we usually have juices all in between, and then we have free time, and then we can look around. There's a beach right by, and then we usually have juices, the meditation at night, and then what else?
More discussion.
More discussion. Yeah.
Now, it turns out that there are dolphins nearby. And last time we were there, we went swimming with the dolphins. We are definitely going to do a dolphin swimming trip.
It was good.
It's about 10 minutes away where we can do that.
That's good. So yeah.
And it's a beautiful all-inclusive resort, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be staying in villas, and then there's also like a hotel.
And it's right on the beach, right?
No, well, it's not right on the beach, but the beach is only 5-10 minutes of walk or something.
Well,
because we'll be in a different area.
We're really close to the beach, put it that way.
It's not right on it, though.
But some of the pictures show kind of like it's on it. And what Shanti's saying is accurate. We're not staying on the beach front.
But they have these little golf carts that they give you that you can go anywhere or walk.
That's fun. Oh, I love that. Okay, so do you guys encourage people to walk during that time? And one more question. How do you help people that say, oh, I'm hungry?
Usually after a couple of days, the hunger disappears. I mean, it really does. It takes about 2 days to get really into that fasting mode, and then drink more juices.
And what Shanti just said is drink more juices. Because we also say have a lot of water. So we're actually having to, I don't know if the word ship in, but we're ordering a lot of water.
Water filters and juices and everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are the juices, I know I shouldn't even ask this, but are the juices organic?
Of course they are.
Of course they are, right?
Absolutely.
And
researched this one organic dealer.
Yes.
And he's so excited about doing it. He and his family are going to be doing the juicing for us.
Yes.
I love that. Are they
After
all,
each
they're all green juices? Everything's green?
Well, we see what the market has, like, if they have grapefruit or, here when we're in Israel, we do pomegranates, but, we have to see what they have.
But mostly it's green,
It's mostly, it's not fruit though.
and there's some kind of water apple or something that I've never heard of that he says is really good as well. So,
It'll be a surprise.
and basically everything's delivered every 2 days. So everything's very, very fresh from local farms.
So if somebody needs more juices, you'd get them more juices if they're having a tough time
Yeah.
getting through
Yeah.
it. So they'll be supported 100%, no matter what. If it's their first time ever, they have all that fear around it, you will help them, you will guide them to be able to actually enjoy the process.
Yeah, we have new people every time, yeah.
So I'm going to say it a slightly different way. That's one of the things we really offer is, as a holistic physician, and psychiatrist and all that, and Shanti is a yoga person, we really cover a whole area of support, and we're meeting once or twice a day for support groups. We're really there to make it work for people. And I think the oldest person was 93.
That's
And
awesome.
she came in on 13 medications and in a wheelchair.
Wow.
And after a little bit of time, she was off all her medications and up and walking.
That's incredible. If that's not a testimonial, I don't know what is. So since I would love to talk to you guys a lot more, but I know we're running a little bit out of time. So I wanted to ask you, tell people how they can find you, where they can sign up for the retreat, how to connect with you. Go ahead.
Sure. So we actually created a website for this. It's called drcousinsspiritualfast.com. That's a pretty easy one. drcousinsspiritualfast.com. Now, we have, which I'm sure you looked at from your questions, is that we have a general site, and which you can get to through drcousens.com, another website, or treeoflife.mn, mightynetworks.co. But the simplest for this, and what refers you to all the rest, is just simply drcousinsspiritualfast.com.
And it
try to make
starts
it
starts
simple.
June 1st through what?
The 9th.
The 1st through the 9th. And at the end of the retreat, they do get to break their fast, right?
Yes, we do a day of coming off.
We have
fast.
it includes a day of coming off the
Yes.
fast. Now, we also offer this Jnana Yoga training,
Afterwards, after the fast.
3 days. And the reason we do it right after the fast is people are best able to let go of particularly negative thought forms. Because you're so clear, you're not holding on to junk. And so it's a lot easier to let go of it. So we have a 3-day course, it's 6 hours a day. And so people can stay longer and so forth for that. But that's a separate course. You sign up for that separately.
Separate price, separate course. Yeah, no, that sounds amazing. Well, it's been such an honor to have you and Shanti on the podcast, on the World Healing Tour podcast. I didn't tell you that I run the Holistic Chamber of Boca Raton as well. So we have chapters all over the country, and I run the holistic one here. So I'm very connected to holistic health, and everything that I do is around that as well. I live that lifestyle. So hopefully I can come to your retreat. It sounds amazing.
And bring your husband.
Yeah, and bring my husband. And I really want to tell all of you listening out there, I was so excited to have Gabriel and his wife on the podcast. And I feel like they give so much value. They've been doing this for so long, and they're so committed to making you healthy and helping you have a healthier life and a better life and being more connected spiritually to everything that you want and everything that you're doing. So I'm so inspired by your work, and I want to just thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me and to get the word out so people can heal themselves so they can heal the world.
Thank you. Now, I'm just going to add a little bit, is that we see this as a progressive process. So there have been some people who have been fasting with us for 20 or 30 years because it's a lifestyle that people get strengthened in. So it's not just for new people, but they're people who know that this really works for them and has greatly enhanced their life. So our goal is this long range idea of helping people really sustain it. It's one thing, oh, we had a great experience. Okay. No, we want you to be able to successfully sustain it. And we talk about that in the fast, but to support people over the years. So
No,
that's
and I can totally see that from everything that you do. There's so much stuff that I didn't even get to, but there's so many different areas that you help people, break through. So it's incredible, and I'm excited for everybody that gets to go to this retreat and to be able to make themselves heal themselves and feel better every day in their lives and have fun, like you said, because we're here to have fun. We're not here to suffer. Suffering's optional, and so when you heal yourself, you truly can have that fun that you want to have in life.
very well spoken. Good.
Thank you.
All right, so thank you so much for joining me. I want to thank you all for joining me in the World Healing Tour podcast. Until next time, remember to do these 3 important things that I always talk about. Number 1, every day remember to have a grateful heart and connect to your gratitude, because when you're connected to your gratitude, you're connected to positive feelings and emotions and people and things, and drawing more of that into your life, because we all want more positive things in our lives. Number 2, remember every day to ground in love and compassion, not just for yourself, but for others as well. Everybody wants more love and compassion, but we have to learn to give it out to receive an abundance of love and compassion back in return. So make sure you give out love and compassion. And number 3, every day know that you're not alone on this journey. It's a guided journey. You're guided by God. I call it God. Some people say source, universe, higher power, whatever it is for you, I call it God. Until next time, everyone, thank you for joining me today. Have a beautiful week. Namaste.
Namaste and blessings to everyone. And thank you for the great interview.
Thank you. This was so much fun. So much fun to have you guys. And hopefully I get to meet you both in person.
Yes.
Hi, this is Noah Crane. I'm excited to share this anthology book with you, The Grass Grows Where I Am. So just join us and be a part of this incredible book to help bring your message and influence into the world. We're excited to showcase what you do to make this world better. Click the link below. The World Healing Tour Movement with your host, Noah Crane. Heal yourself, heal the world.